Welcome to Boulder City City Council Redevelopment Agency meeting. Madam City Clerk.
Thank you. The agenda was posted in accordance with Nevada open meeting law, and we're expecting member Booth any moment, so we will have full body.
All right, counter present as we speak. Thank you. We'll open, this is public comment for the Redevelopment Agency. Anyone who would like to come forward and talk about anything that's on the agenda today, that you would be more than welcome. And if you'd like to call in, call 702-589-9629. Is there anyone on the phone line, Madam City Clerk? Okay. See no one coming forward. And waiting just a few moments for anybody who would be calling in. This would be anything pertaining to the agenda on the Redevelopment Agency. No one on the phone line. We will close public comment, and on the agenda for possible action, approval of the July 8th Redevelopment Agency minutes.
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Unanimous. And then agenda item number 2, Resolution 266. And the presentation, please.
Good evening, Chairman and Agency Board members. Rafi Fastikjian, City's Economic Development Coordinator. Boulder City PB Holdings, LLC, are seeking RDA funding to redevelop the property located at 849 Nevada Way into a Pink Box donut establishment. The property was previously owned by corporate 7-Eleven and has been vacant since 2022. Boulder City PB Holdings, LLC, is proposing to invest approximately $325,000 for eligible improvements, which include things such as exterior painting, exterior lighting, landscaping, ADA compliance, parking lot improvements, and signage. If approved this evening, the applicants could receive up to 30% reimbursement on eligible items, totaling $97,615. Their goal is to open their doors to our community by the end of this year. Mike Kurtz, Vice President of Construction, is also in attendance. If you happen to have any specific project-related questions, I'm also happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
I've got a lot of comments, but I don't know if I want to reserve them for when we have discussion brought back up to council, or I'll let you make the call on that.
Councilwoman Booth.
Are we going to wait or?
Now would be the time for any comments or questions.
My question would be this. On the redevelopment funds, where do these monies come from?
The money comes from, the RDA is funded through a tax increment from property taxes. So those properties, those commercial properties primarily that are in the RDA district, 1.13% of the tax gets funded that way in the redevelopment fund.
So up at my private home, I don't get taxed, but at my business, I do because I'm in the redevelopment.
You get taxed, but the line item of the RDA, that increment of that 1.137 does not go into the fund.
So if I were a millionaire or like me, we're all going to get the same thing, no matter what. If you qualify for it, it doesn't matter.
If you qualify,
who
you qualify. And again, the purpose of the RDA is to promote development of blighted areas within the RDA district.
Or just to improve the area.
To improve, blighted conditions.
Thank you. That was my question.
Thank you. Councilwoman.
So just points of clarification, the RDA for our city has, for the development of businesses, because that's separate than the historic district, right, for homes. Those are different grant versus.
Correct.
Processes.
Correct.
So how long has this been available for businesses in our?
Since 1999, and the term is 30 years.
Okay, and of those years, do we spend the total amount available in there or exceed that every single year?
No, the money stays in the fund, and then the budget does not carry, but it carries over. So, no.
So typically, we don't, right?
You're asking, for example, the budget for this year is $350,000. Typically, over the last 7 years that I've been here, we have not funded that max of $350,000
At all.
in the 7 years that I've been here.
Right, and we have a lot of blighted area out there, if you want to call it that word. It seems so unfriendly, but there is quite a bit of area out there on the street that we would want to see redeveloped, that would help us to be able to have a main area as we come into town that is thriving more than it is. So what would happen if we spent the total amount and another business in that area came seeking something like this? Would they have to wait till the next year? Is it something that funds could be put in? How is that going to work?
We would talk with finance, and maybe we can move funds from another portion, like we have a historic RDA grant, maybe some money can be moved there, or we can come back to city council and ask for additional funds for that fiscal year.
Yes, and I mean, since I think we're making comments now, not just questions, if you'll indulge me for half a minute, I think anyone who is willing, this is 30%, right? So
up to
that means
30%.
someone's putting in 70% of their money. So if you're getting 97, we said total cost 325, being willing to put into the area downtown or in a historic portion of our community that allows redevelopment, which is exactly what this money's is. It's set apart for. That's what it's supposed to be used for. So in my mind's, as I look at it, it makes sense, because if you don't redevelop, redesign, refresh, then you end up looking at what we see now a little bit, which are some dilapidated buildings, some buildings not in use. So that's just my thoughts on it.
Councilman Walton?
Thank you, Mayor Hardy. So let me preface my comments with some statements and context. Lest I be called a donut hater or somebody who doesn't like bright and cheerful colors, or, something that might look happy and perky. I couldn't state it more emphatically, and now I'm speaking to our pink box folks, how inconsistent, compliant, yes, with the standards, but inconsistent with the Art Deco theme of especially the downtown area. And I look at this and think, wow, that's not Boulder City. And I appreciate that there's corporate logo and marketing and imaging, but it's almost like saying, hey, I'm going to paint your car pink and I want you to pay for it. Like, no thanks. I'm not interested in the design, and therefore any funding towards the design. Now, if there's any latitude to make it less shocking to our community, I might be more easily persuaded. But at the way it stands, take it for what it's worth, right? I'm one person, although I do have constituents, and I like an apple fritter now and then. Those are my comments about that. I just do not see how this fits the consistency with our community, with leading into the historic district. Of all the blight that we have had, this was the least, I think, although it was vacant. They're certainly worse. And so if we were to pick by priority, just if we, had a wish list, this would have been probably lower on the list than others. But yeah, those are my comments to this point. I'm really not interested in changing the face of Boulder City with that.
I do have some comments, maybe.
Councilwoman Ashurst.
4-year-old granddaughter would disagree with Councilman Walton, but she doesn't live here. She doesn't live here. However, I did look at your website. You do have others, some that look vintage, and that's not for this meeting, but maybe something to consider down the road, fitting into the theme of Boulder City, which is more vintage, I would say. I did come across a statement, though, in the application. It was an affidavit of participation, Section 4, and it said that the applicant had to have no other reasonable means of financing through building, facilities, structures, and other, it's cut off at the end, because of one or more following reasons. Rafi, this is to you. Do they fit in that box? I know that they're a corporation, and they have means.
But in that signed affidavit, the applicant did mark the debt financing from a private lender would not result in a favorable rate of return.
Okay.
So they qualify. So as far as we're concerned,
Just for the purposes of the statute, it is up to the legislative body to make that determination. The affidavit is here for the owner to have a sworn statement saying that they do meet this qualification from one of these two reasons. The applicant here did fill out the affidavit and did swear that there was no other reasonable means of financing because the improvements, if financed, would not result in a reasonable rate of return, which is one of the acceptable responses.
Okay, I just wanted to get that cleared. Along the line of some of the other comments. So, can you explain the difference between a city RDA and a private RDA? There a difference between?
I'm not sure what you refer to, the private RDA. We have the Redevelopment Agency, which is this program. And then within that, there's the historic RDA.
Okay.
Maybe that's what you're referring to.
Yeah, and that would
And the
be a city
historic,
RDA?
And then it's also city. And then that's funded every this fiscal year for $179,900 for historic conforming properties.
Okay, and the way the funds are allocated, Pink Box would pay up front, and then they would get reimbursed.
Correct.
They may not even use what they say that they're going to use, but they would get reimbursed for the rest.
Correct. They'll get approved for what we approve tonight, what the agency approves, but the reimbursement will be based off if they even hit that. So if they come in under, they're only going to get reimbursed that 30% of what actually was used.
Oh, okay, all righty. That's all I have for right now. Thank you.
Councilwoman Booth.
We keep referring to it as a blighted area, and I think it doesn't, maybe it's somebody's definition of blighted. To me, it's something like what the flamingo looks like right now. But if I wanted to redo my sign and refresh my sign and make it look better, I would qualify for those RDA funds.
Correct. You would
Even though
qualify.
my building isn't blighted and my area is not blighted, I still would qualify because that's what the RDA funds are to. And I think Sherry brought that up too, is to refresh.
Refresh,
Not just-
improvement.
Not that you have to be in a blighted area to receive those funds. So
That's correct.
I just wanted to make that clear because I'd hate to think I was in a blighted area and I wanted to redo my sign and I couldn't use the funds that I pay into.
No, that's correct.
Thank you.
Correct, yeah.
That brings up one more question. So hypothetically, right now, if this is approved, how long do they have to get the building up and going? It's been sitting there maybe a year or so.
Yeah, the
there a
applicant,
time?
if approved from today, would have 1 year to do the completion. They do have the ability, if they need an extension, staff can offer a 6-month extension after that, and then anything after, we would have to come back to the agency. But they've made it clear that they're really excited about this project, joining the community, and their goal is to be done by the end of the year.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's great to be able to have all of these comments out so everybody can appreciate what the redevelopment agency is all about. The motivation, I'll call it. Sometimes we are motivated to do something because we can get a break. And this is one of those where if we do something to make it look better, albeit maybe in a different way, then they apply for that redevelopment agency grant, and then they get it, and then they are motivated to do something. We had mention of another property that is more technically blighted than others, but it really isn't the blighted as much as if you're in the redevelopment agency, then that money, that increment that we pay if we're in the redevelopment area goes to projects that could be used. So right now, how much money do we have sitting in the redevelopment agency that we haven't used?
Currently, there's 4.5 million in the RDA.
Could you say
Yeah, that's what I've been told. Yeah, there's 4.5 million.
4.5 million?
Yeah.
So we are sitting on money that we could use if we had somebody motivated to apply for a redevelopment grant, as it were, that would be able to help us. So that could be something that is obviously blighted in everybody's mind, and that could be to make something look better. Just, it's an application.
Yep.
So the application comes forward, and then we decide what we're going to do. Do we have any other things in the queue that are looking at that people have expressed an interest in the RDA funds?
From the private sector,
Right.
there's always interest, and the program just historically has, it is an incentive for people to purchase properties or developers. It really entices them, and it really excites them to want to invest, knowing that they have the support, some help to develop properties.
So for instance, if we had 4.5 million, we would be able to say that we could throw out a balloon and say, anybody out there would like to come up with $12 million of grant applications that would be matched by $4 million, and then we may be able to get somebody to bite?
I would not be saying anything like that unless I speak to our finance department. I'm sorry.
But we have that money.
It's sitting in the RDA fund. Yeah, it's
Right.
sitting in the RDA fund. Correct.
Is there a time limit upon which that money needs to be used? And we utilize it also, like currently, I know that there's projects, like we did lend a hand, and we could use some of that money to redo that. And we're going to do senior center possibly, right?
So some of the funds, I think, maybe are allocated. That's just the money in the fund, but yeah.
Is there a timeline for the use of that $4 million?
The use would be when the RDA ends, which I think is 2029.
Okay.
And I'm sure there's discussions and plans.
And I do want to, the agenda item is specific to Pink Box, and so if we want to talk about larger grant programs or bigger projects or even new grant opportunities, that just would have to be agendized at a later meeting.
Right. Do I have to have it agendaed to say 4.5
No, I was just making sure the council knew if the broader policy discussion on larger grant programs just would have to be brought back. But yes, you can say, we can absolutely answer your question, of course, in that there's 4.5 million
And so
in the funds.
this is still 2025. How long has the RDA been in existence?
Since 1999?
So 99, it goes 30 years. We have four years to use our RDA funds, and then what happens? Do they revert to the state, or?
I'm not sure exactly where it goes.
We have an answer.
Yep.
Good afternoon, members of the board. Michael Mays, your Community Development Director and Acting Deputy City Manager. So, in 2029, whatever remaining funds exist are dispersed to the taxing bodies that were impacted in 1999 when the taxes were frozen. And so it's distributed proportionately per the tax rate that's been in place. So it would go to the school, it would go to the county, et cetera. Now, the city is looking for ways to utilize those funds before the 2029 expiration.
Thank you for that clarification. Is that obtuse enough that we could do it?
Mayor, can we have the applicant come up at some point?
So the 2029, for instance, we are interested in getting a certain corridor looking better. And this is an application that some of us feel would make it look better or provide a service to the community that we don't have at this point, to the point that it would do. 7-Eleven was there.
Correct.
And as I recall, the 7-Eleven didn't look historic. In the historic sense of Boulder City. So I think we're replacing a 7-Eleven with a donut shop, potentially, depending on what we do. And there will be some question about which is better and which isn't. But putting something there hopefully will look better. And I appreciate Councilman Walton's point about how does it fit. And maybe it would be appropriate to have the applicant come up and say something.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Michael Kurz. I'm the VP of Construction for Amazing Brands. I just want to say on behalf of our company, we're really excited about the opportunity to come to Boulder City. We've got an established presence in the city of Las Vegas, and we've had our eye on Boulder City for quite some time. It's not just the opportunity about coming to Boulder City. We always make our presence in the community known. We've got a community partners manager. His name's Alex Aladort. I know Tammy. He mentioned your name, that he's been in contact with over the past year. We get a lot of inquiries on social media, online forums about, when are you coming to Boulder City? You announced you're coming to Boulder City. When are you coming? When are you coming? So we want to be here. We're ready to make a significant investment into the community. The $300,000 that applies to the RDA grant, where we're seeking $97,000. There's a lot more hundreds of thousands of dollars behind that to put all that together. So the $300,000 is only what applies to the RDA grant. So there's a big investment that we're looking to make to pull the switch on getting the job done. But all in part, when we come to the community, we're looking to make a fun place. We're looking at a place to celebrate. The donuts are great. There's over 70 varieties at any point in time, so there's a flavor for everybody. If it's apple fritter, it's apple fritter. If it's chocolate with frosting, it's chocolate with frosting. So we've got it all. So we're looking to come to Boulder City. Been working really closely with Rafi and Nikisha and the building department, getting all of our plans together. I know it's been a long time, but we're just about ready to go. So Rafi says, by the end of the year, we've been looking forward to this meeting, be looking forward to start, and then it's about a 2 to 3 month process to get the construction done.
Could you make reference to what the appearance is going to be? And for my own edification, are you going to cook the donuts there so that we all can benefit without even spending any money?
Correct. So in regards to your question about the appearance, the building is white and pink. There's sprinkles on the building. There's a donut arch on the outside that you walk through. This is not the first time we're trying this at a location. Several of our other locations have similar type features, and it's part of our brand. We're not looking to be a bakery shop, very boring colors. We want that fun excitement when you come in, whether you're driving by or you're coming into the shop. Everywhere you look, we want it to be exciting. We want smiles. We want to be excited about the donuts. In regards to your question about baking them, no, this will not be a production facility. This will be a retail distribution facility. So the donuts will be made at our donut commissary on Sunset in Las Vegas. And we'll drive them here twice a day.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Go ahead.
How many people will you be employing, and are you looking at people from Boulder City, or are you bringing in employees?
That's a great question. So a location like this in Boulder City would employ about 20 employees in total. At any given point in time, about 5 are on staff at the location. Varying hours of the day. Weekends might be more to get to that 5. Sometimes it might be 2 or 3. It just we have to adjust by for the hours. But in total, 20. Of course, we're looking for local Boulder City residents to be the main factor in the employees there. But yeah, 20 would be what we're looking to hire.
Okay, and you may know, you may not know, what are your hours of operation going to be?
So our typical hours of operation are we open at 5 a.m. and then generally stay open till 11 p.m. at night.
That's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
So you wouldn't be a 7-Eleven?
We would not be a 7-Eleven, no. Mm-mm.
Thank you.
511.
Mayor, I've got a question. And this is directed to the city attorney. If in the event Pink Box chooses to move locations to, after some period of time when your return on investment has been realized, or, the model calls for a better or different location or what have you, and this is then for the city attorney, is it possible to condition RDA grant funds for returning the building to the original color when it was purchased by the current applicant?
Currently, when receiving RDA funds, the owner does have to enter into an owner participation agreement, and there are certain covenants within that agreement, and some run with the land, that the owner has to maintain those improvements. And so the funds could be conditioned if the council wished, or if the party was amenable as well. The funds could be conditioned as part of that agreement on a requirement to either restore the property or perhaps paint the property a more neutral color. upon relocation or selling the property for another purpose or renting the property for another purpose. That can be if council, or I'm sorry, if the RDA board wishes that to be a condition again, or if the other party is amenable to adding that as a condition, then the two parties can come together as and add that to the agreement.
So I believe I hear you say we could either condition it if the majority chooses, or it could be upon mutual agreement. Either way.
Yes, either or, correct.
Okay.
Would that be subject to this meeting, or would that be at some future time that we would discuss that?
No, the RDA board has jurisdiction to do that. The agreement is with the RDA. It's an entirely separate board from council, so it would be the RDA board's decision.
Specific question, can we do that now, or
Yes.
is it another time?
Now,
Okay. Go ahead.
One last question. Maybe the city attorney can answer this. We cannot dictate having been on the planning commission, we can't dictate the color that somebody paints their building.
that's correct. On the planning commission, there's not design standards within the city, so the city doesn't typically have a say in paint color, things like that. This is a little bit different. This is a discretionary grant that the RDA is able to either grant or not grant. And so the RDA has some more flexibility with determining whether a grant is appropriate for a project or not under the statute. The decision is final and conclusive. So the RDA board can decide what to fund. I will note that the application is not just for the paint color and branding. That's only a set amount of what they're seeking. I believe those costs are in total around $80-some thousand. So it'd be $20,000 to $30,000 in RDA funding they're seeking for that particular purpose. Obviously, the applicant could probably answer that more in detail, but there's other improvements to the building, et cetera, that they're seeking redevelopment funds for. Again, so the board has more discretion here when deciding whether to issue the grant and for what improvements.
Thank you.
I guess when I think about the RDA monies, I again think about redeveloping and getting our area up and going again. Having businesses here that function and want to be here, and to encourage business to want to be here. And if it's pink and it's happy, I know my grandkids will be happy too. It's far enough away from the old downtown where I feel like we have a really more of a theme. I mean, we do have all the hotels coming down and stuff, but I mean, as to what you have said, I don't think it's 7-Eleven wasn't that way, and there are many buildings on that, that parkway there that aren't that way. Pink does not bother me. For my car, yes. For the building, no. But but what does bother me is that possibly our downtown could die, and we could end up Route 66. You'll probably tell me now I can never say that. That would bother me. And if we have monies available, and we have an interested person to come in with a good product, a proven product, and something that I think be beneficial in our community, I don't have a problem with it.
Let me ask the applicant if I can, Mayor.
Go ahead.
Along the lines of the conversation we just had with the city attorney, if we choose to have the conversation about conditioning it, is Pink Box amenable to a voluntary agreement of returning to the color if you vacate that building, or when you do?
Yeah, I think we could make that commitment. The painting of the building is is just a really small portion.
It's
of
only
it.
5,000
Yeah.
on your list, right? So
Right.
it's not that onerous.
Right, and
Right.
half of it's white and half of it's pink. So I think we
Well, I only
could,
saw the facade on the top as white, everything else.
Yeah, so
Oh,
everything
well, I
else-
guess there's some stripes there, sorry about that. Yeah, I see that now. Okay, well,
so
that's my
so yes,
question.
if that would be a condition, yes, we'd be, to return the color if we were to vacate, which after making this investment, I mean, it would be really hard to do. But yes, we'd be agreeable to that.
Yeah, great.
So for the record,
Reflect.
I don't want it back to how it looked. I mean, seriously, it didn't look good. Yeah. So at this point, go
I
ahead.
do have one more question in reference to, I'm looking at your rendition of the pink box. You have another one where you have some awnings that come down. Was that for just that location, or can you move around some of your designs to this location, or are we locked into this rendition?
So we're pretty dialed into this render here. It's just every building that we look at and renovate has got different features on it. So we've got about 10 different features, whether it's awnings or gooseneck lights or the sprinkles. We've got those, and we fit those in how we feel is best to each of the buildings.
This one, it just doesn't look like it had any shading if you had outside seating or anything. That's why I asked about the awning or whatever. Would that be considered down the road, or?
Right, so we plan on having a couple picnic benches out on the outside of patio. It's not a drive-through location, and
That was
just,
going to be my next question.
yeah, it's not drive-through, so, and just looking at the different businesses up and down the block, it seems like there's a lot of patios that people seem to enjoy. When it's 120 degrees, might be a little tough sitting out there, but on the shoulder months, it'd be a great place to come as a family and be able to sit for a while.
I think that's a good idea. It really does break up a little bit of the straight lines that the building is designed, and something like table and chairs outside really makes a big difference. So, okay. It sounds like you're open to maybe a little change. Thank you.
As I'm hearing concerns, and if Pink Box left it in its beautiful, happy colors and with a closed forever sign on it, it wouldn't look good for Pink Box.
Correct.
And so we don't want you to close if this is granted, et cetera. But I think it would be reasonable to say that if it did close, you picked up stakes and moved out, that it would be returned to a less garish paint, if I can use that word.
Less happy.
Less happy.
Yes.
It would, maybe a sad color.
Sad paint, yeah.
So, yeah, a drab color, that would be good. So,
happy.
okay, so I think we're at a point where I would accept a motion, and let's figure out what we want to do.
I move to approve Resolution 266.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. That is unanimous, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And that brings us to item number 27.
Darlene Dufault, Senior Warden of St. Christopher's Episcopal Church, is seeking RDA funding on behalf of the church for improvements to the property located at 400 Utah Street. The property is owned by the church and was formerly the home to Lendahan. The building was constructed in 1932, requires renovations to meet current ADA standards, including widening of the doors and hallways, leveling of the floor, and installing ADA-compliant electronic push door openers. Their goal is to open a community wellness center that will serve as an outreach hub, offering essential services to community members in need. Of the total investment, $181,337 is eligible for reimbursement, making them eligible to receive up to $54,401 in grant funds. If the agency approves this second RDA application tonight, $147,802 would remain in this year's budget for other RDA-related commercial projects. Would be happy to answer any question, and Ms. Dufault is also in attendance if you have any specific questions as well. Thank you.
Questions? None? Any questions? I would accept a motion.
Move to approve Resolution 267.
Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion.
Just that I had the opportunity to serve over at St. Christopher's, and the ladies and gentlemen do an outstanding job in serving our community. And I know you're going to use this money wisely, and we're going to be the benefit of it. So thank you very much for what you do.
Thank you. Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, Rafi.
Mm.
That brings us to number 4.
Ms. Dufault and the church vestry has also applied for RDA funding through the Historic Preservation RDA Grant Program to make improvements to St. Christopher's Episcopal Church, which was built in 1932 and is a contributing resource to Boulder City's historic district. The church vestry's goal is to renovate areas of interior and exterior of the church to provide greater ADA accessibility for individuals attending services and community events. The improvements include reconstruction of the entrance ramp, installation of ADA compliant doors with electronic push door openers, and interior modifications to allow ADA egress. The total estimated cost for the scope of the eligible improvements associated with this project is $103,375. They are eligible to receive up to $45,999 in reimbursement. This is the first historic RDA grant application that is being considered for this fiscal year. The historic RDA preservation budget is $179,900. As required by the guidelines, this project was presented to the Historic Preservation Commission on March 25th for review. The commission, through a motion, confirmed the application complies with the Historic Preservation Grant Program guidelines. Thank you. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions?
If there are none, move to approve.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, after we've had a discussion, that was a great discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rafi. And that brings us to public comment on anything that anybody would like to say in the opportunity right now. Seeing none coming forward. If you want to call in, 702-589-9629. And I do not see anybody on the phone. And see none on the phone. No one in the office here, so we will close public comment, and meeting is adjourned. Madam City Clerk, when would you like us to be ready for the City Council?